Dividends play a crucial role in the total return of your investments, and more investors are capturing dividend income via ETFs that own dividend-paying stocks. Welcome to ETF Battles. I'm Ron DeLegge, and coming up, we've got two dividend heavyweights in the ring. DVY versus DGRW. Who wins the battle? Well, we're going to find out on today's program. While each of these ETFs has a common strategy of seeking dividends, the approach is quite different. So we're going to pit DVY versus DGRW against each other, breaking down each of them in four key battle categories: cost, exposure strategy, dividend yield, and performance. And at the end of the show, we're going to declare a battle winner. Helping us to judge the battle between DVY and DGRW are two industry pros and ETF experts. We've got Dave Kreinces with ETF Portfolio Management and Mike Akins with ETF Action. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Hey, Ron.
Good to be here, Ron.
Well, let me just say that the caliber of knowledge that both of our judges possess is so lofty that everything I currently know about ETFs, both men have long forgotten. So to kick off this battle between DVY and DGRW, we're going to go through these four battle categories one at a time. Each of you are going to pick DVY or DGRW as the winner in each battle category, and you're going to have 30 seconds to do that. So without further ado, let's begin with our first battle category, cost. Who wins the battle between DVY and DGRW? We'll begin with Mike. You've got 30 seconds. Go.
All right. Well, I think this one's pretty easy. DGRW is a cheaper absolute cost relative to DVY. They both track large cap stocks. There's not a lot different in the form of the area of the market they're tracking. So just on an absolute basis, DGRW is cheaper. They both have very tight spreads. So from that perspective, it's a tie, but just on absolute cost, I'll go with DGRW.
Excellent. Dave, weigh in.
You know, Ron, I will have to agree with my esteemed colleague. The 11 basis point savings for DGRW is quite the savings, so it's an easy win for WisdomTree.
Excellent. Let's move on to the next battle category, which is exposure strategy. Mike, who wins the battle here?
Well, this one is going to also go to DGRW, but in this case, there's a lot of differences we can point out. So specifically, starting with sector exposure, DGRW has a much larger tilt towards some of your more growth sectors in healthcare, technology, whereas DVY is a traditional yield play, getting you very high exposure to utilities, upwards of 30% over time. And as a result, it becomes more of a dividend yield play, whereas DGRW is a dividend growth play. Also looking at exposure, you can look at it from a fundamental perspective, and just looking out at a growth perspective on consensus estimates, DGRW is still holding on even as earnings fall, earnings estimates come down. DGRW is holding on, whereas DVY is now projected to have almost a negative 20% year over year growth in 2020. So I'm sticking with DGRW.
All right, Dave, what's your take?
You know, Ron, once again, I agree with Mike. I think DGRW is giving you just the extra exposure to technology that investors would rather have in this environment. So even though you would typically expect the utility focus of the iShares Select Dividend to perhaps be the lower credit risk of the two, the technology benefit on the DGRW side makes it the winner for me in this category.
Excellent. We got to move on to the next battle category, which is dividend yield. Mike, who wins the battle?
Well, in pure yield, it's pretty much a no-brainer. DVY has a much higher trailing 12-month yield, as well as a forward-looking yield, coming in right now at about 5% with the cratering in stock prices over the last month. However, if you think about it from a standpoint of dividend growth, there is a different component there, and DGRW clearly has a better construct, a better, cleaner balance sheet in the way it's designed to maintain those dividends. But in pure yield, both on absolute terms with DVY coming in about 5% and DGRW around 2.7% in the trailing 12 month, and also on relative terms. If you look at DVY, it's trading at a much higher premium to its last 5-year averages in yield versus DGRW, which is only trading at a discount of about 5% versus its 5-year average. So I'll give it to DVY on yield, both absolute and relative.
Excellent. What's your take on dividend yield? Who wins the battle here, Dave?
DVY does win on the dividend yield, but it really is all about total return. So The dividend yield is a nice component, and it's great that DVY wins there, but we'll look at the total performance next and see where it shakes out.
So DVY is your pick?
DVY for yield.
Okay, excellent. Final category is performance. Mike.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and stay with DGRW and make it a clean sweep of all the categories here. I guess DVY got yield, but in context of performance, both on past performance, just what we can actually judge, what's on paper, DGRW has been the clear winner because of the factors we discussed. We've been in more of a growth environment. The sector exposure of DGRW is more favorable, but also on a look-forward basis. At ETF Action, we believe we're going to come back to more of a growth market once the fears and the issues surrounding coronavirus filters its way through the market. And as a result, we would expect DGRW to perform better going forward as well. So both past and forward-looking, we believe DGRW is a clear winner.
Excellent. Your take on this final battle category performance, Dave?
You know, Ron, WisdomTree's dividend growth really benefits from the tech exposure here. We don't have their performance in 2008, and I always like to see the performance in stress environments.
Such a stickler.
Yeah, you know, the iShares Select Dividend did roll over 33% in 08. They were both down in 2018, which was another stressful environment. They were both down mid-single digits. This year in the carnage, DGRW performed better and certainly performed significantly better in the medium term. So without question, performance goes to the WisdomTree dividend growth.
All right. Well, that pretty much does it for all four battle categories. And I think both of you recapped your take on each one of those. And so who won the battle between DVY and DGRW? Well, clearly the winner is DGRW. According to my scorecard and our judges, pretty much winning all battle categories with the exception of dividend yield. But don't forget, when you invest in dividends, you also have to think about dividend growth as well as sustainability, not just the level of the dividend. And so clearly, again, the winner for this battle between these two dividend ETFs is DGRW. Well, that does it for this round of ETF Battles. A special thanks to our judges, Dave and Mike, for joining us. And which ETF battles would you like to see in our next upcoming episodes? Well, post your thoughts on our YouTube comment section or hit us up on Twitter at ETFguide. Thanks for watching ETF Battles. And until next time, watch the battle before you invest right here at ETF Guide TV.